Turnover, profit and cash are the financial holy trinity in the business world. In last week's video, I talked about turnover, specifically what it was, how it's measured, why it's a key measure, and in the same breath, why it is not a key financial priority for you and your business. Hi folks, my name is Mahmood and welcome to another weekly video from my I Hate Numbers channel. My mission is to inform, inspire and educate you to get closer to your numbers, to actually understand your numbers more if you want to make money from your business and not run it as a hobby. Let's crack on with the show, folks. Now, turnover is a topic we talked about last week, and I'm going to drill down now specifically and look at profit, what it actually is. Now, profit fundamentally is about measuring activity and putting numbers to that. So if we imagine your business, it could be a service business where you're selling time and expertise for money. You could be a retailer where you're buying in goods and selling that on to a customer. You could be a manufacturer who makes things and then sells that on to an end customer. Doesn't really matter what that business is. Now within that, let's assume you have sold 5 items in your business and each one conveniently happens to be priced at £20. And what you've created a turnover of £100. Now for now, it does not matter whether that money is landing in your bank account or not. Profit is measured from the moment you sell something onto somebody, you measure the turnover is created. The moment you incur costs in running your business in relation to buying in goods and selling them on, then you incur costs at the same time. So against that turnover of £100, let's assume I've got costs from buying in products of £20. Doesn't matter if I've not paid my supplier yet, and it does not matter in the terms of measuring profit. So I've now got a profit of £80. Now the first profit that I've measured and I've captured is called my gross profit. In other circles, you may hear the word gross margin. In other circles, you may hear the word contribution. The most common term that I've come across in 40 plus years is either gross profit, gross margin. So I've now generated, created, made, take the term that fits best, of £80. Now that sits in my first bucket. Now I don't get to keep all of that profit because I've still got other demands on that £80 profit. So I've got freelancers that I've used, I've got advertising costs that I've incurred, I've got website costs, I've got cost of delivery and shipment to the end customer. And let's assume we go back to this £80 profit and we take out another £40 from the system. Now that means now, out of my turnover of 100, £20 has gone for the costs, which are specifically called either direct costs or cost of sales. That gave me an £80 gross profit. I then ring-fenced, took out of the system another £40, which was for my running costs. Now in terminology terms, those running costs could be revenues, overheads, expenses, the whole bunch of terms that the world of numbers likes to bombard us with. And that gives me a £40 profit left over. Now that final profit is either called net profit, and that's perfectly acceptable. In some circles, it's called EBIT, which is a really weird acronym that stands for earnings before interest and tax. Other companies call it PBIT, profits before interest and tax. Some people just call it operating profit. In your mind, think about your first group of profit, which is the gross, and then you deduct effectively all the running costs of your organisation. So that's what profit is. That's how we calculate it. Now let's focus on why it's so important. Well, profit is an important number because it's a measure of your financial performance. It's a measure of your financial success. The name of the game is to make sure that our clients, our customers ultimately repay us for the costs that we have running the business, and that includes paying ourselves, and they give us a reward on top for being in that situation of selling them a service, providing a solution. Secondly, it's an easy-ish number to extract. So if you've got a half-decent accounting system, which is highly recommended, then it's easy-ish to extract and calculate what that profit actually is. So it's an easy number, it's a measure of success, and the fantastic thing about profit is that you can measure it at a per product level, at a per customer level, or you can measure it in totality. So knowing how you're performing financially at any of those levels in your organization, your business, is really quite powerful stuff. It gives you a benchmark. It gives you the ability to know what you pursue. If you do not make profit in your business, by the way, you're not going to have a business for very long. Now, in terms of that measurement, let's revisit those numbers. Sometimes you'll hear people talk about profit and they use percentages. So in my earlier example, where I had £100 worth of turnover and I had initially £20 of cost taken out, I had an £80 gross profit. Now, it's not unusual to measure that £80 to express it in pound note terms, in dollars, in euros, whatever currency that you trade in, or to express it as a percentage. So £80 in relation to my turnover is 80%. And that is sometimes called a GP percent, a gross profit margin. Now, my final profit of 40, so I took another £40 out of the system, that gives me 40. That £40 net profit, operating profit, EBIT or PBIT, please take your pick, they all mean the same thing, is a profit margin of 40%. Now, in future videos, I'll go into that in a little bit more detail, talk about measures, but whether they're good or bad, you don't know unless you're measuring against something. Now, last thing, folks, in next week's video, I'm going to be revisiting one of the most important numbers to keep an eye on in your business, and that's cash. We'll come back to the examples that I've gone through today, and we've got a situation that is very possible to create profit in your business, to be successful, but still find that you could be in financial troubles. Profit does not guarantee sustainability, it's halfway there. Folks, I hope you like the video. Give it a thumbs up, give me some feedback. If there are topics that you feel that you want me to cover in a future episode, then please let me know. I'd love your feedback, love your comments. Feel free to subscribe and share. Until next week, folks, have a wonderful week.